Hello everyone and welcome back to Used and Reviewed. We're going to be looking at the camera on the Samsung Galaxy S3 now. I've obviously had this camera for a number of weeks, so I've had a good chance to give the camera a bit of a go, take some footage, not only from the video side but also some stills. And if you stick around later on in the video, I'll put up some examples of the quality of the stills and the video footage for all to see. So when you open the actual camera itself, you've got basically two bars, one at the top and one at the bottom. The one at the bottom, if I take you through it quickly, the first one is your gallery, so any recently taken photos or pictures that you've got in your gallery, you'll go through there. You've got the capture icon in the middle of the screen, and in the bottom right hand corner you've got the ability to switch from stills to video recording. Now in terms of stills, this device can take up to 8 megapixels in size. What I do like is you can actually change the resolution, so if you don't actually need to use 8 megapixels and you need a slightly smaller image, then you can change that in the settings. From the video side, it takes up to 1080p full HD recording. Now the top bar, essentially on the left hand side you've got the settings menu, and then what you have here is for essentially shortcuts. So these are some of the commonly used features that you might want to use as shortcuts. So for example, you've got the flash shortcut there where you can obviously turn the flash on or off and put an automatic flash on. Now what I do like about this shortcut feature is that you can edit what shortcuts appear on the top bar. And I think this is a great feature. So for example, if you wanted to remove the flash one, you pull it down here, and you want to replace it with a timer, you could pop the timer up there, and there you go. It's a great little feature, and I really like the way you can customize the overall camera aesthetics, and I guess not only on the camera itself but also the S3. There's a lot of customization which I really like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you through the extensive list of settings that we've got here. There are a lot of settings, and I'm going to take you through one by one and just outline what they essentially do very quickly before I show you some stills and some footage. So the first option you've got is self-portrait. So obviously if we select this, it will revert the camera to the forward facing camera, so you can take a photo of yourself if you are so vain. Next icon down is the flash, which I showed you before. So again, there's off and on, or an automatic flash where they'll detect the settings and use a flash accordingly. Now shooting mode, there's several different modes that you can actually shoot using the device. The first is a single shot, which is literally one shot. The second is a burst shot. Now it's a great little feature this. With a burst shot, you keep your finger on the capture button and it can take up to 20 different stills in quick succession. Great for action shots and that type of thing, and you can always pick the best one out of the lot. You've got a HDR option there for HDR photos. There's a smile shot, so if you're taking a photo and you're obviously waiting for somebody to smile, with this option selected, what it will basically do is it will take a photograph the minute that person actually smiles. So if you're sitting around waiting for a baby to smile or that type of thing, then you can obviously set that to on. Next one is beauty. Now apparently this improves any imperfections that you might have. I'm not going as far as to say what sort of imperfections you might have, but I think it will just get rid of some blemishes and that type of thing. I don't think it's going to give you a full facial reconfiguration or anything like that, but it might just hide a couple of imperfections in skin and that type of thing. Next option down is Panorama. So this you'll probably want to use if you're going to take a sort of 360 degree photo. It works really well actually. You take a photograph, you move the device slightly, and it will automatically take another photograph when it's lined up until you've got a full circle. Next one down is cartoon, and now this a little bit gimmicky, but it changes the settings to a cartoony style, as you can see. Graphic. second to last one we've got here is Share Shot. Now what this will basically do is it will share any photographs you take with other users that are nearby they've got you connected to with Wi-Fi Direct. Obviously you need to have Wi-Fi Direct connected, you need to be connected up to that person, but it will allow you to take a photograph and share it with them directly and send it to them. So it's a nice little feature. The final one in here is the Buddy Photo Share. Now again, this is quite a good little feature actually. What this will do is when you take a photograph of somebody, you can actually tag their name and using face detection, if you take any shots in the future of that particular person, it can automatically send the photo to that person via the various channels. So it's great if you've got friends that you take, you obviously share a lot of photos with each other, and this option will allow you to take a photo and automatically send it to them without you having to do much really. The next option we have is Scene Mode. So here you have a range of preset options really that you can take a photograph depending on your surroundings. So for example, if you want to take a photo at night, you might want to select it, and you'll notice that the contrast and brightness will change of the live image in the background, as you can see there. So again, just going through them quickly, got portrait, landscape, nighttime, sports, party indoor, beach, snow, sunset, dawn, full colour, firework, text, candlelight and backlight. The next option we have is exposure value. So we can change the exposure in real time, and as you can see that again adjusts brightness and contrast etc. of the image. Next is focus mode. So most people will leave it on autofocus. You can have it at a macro level, so if you're taking photographs of anything that's small and you want to get an image close in, you'd use macro. Face detection, clearly if you're going to take photographs with friends and you want to take the photograph of in particular the face, you'd use face detection and it can zoom in on that particular area. Timer, so you can set a timer for the device, 2, 5 and 10 seconds. Effects, so you have a negative, there you go, strange effect. You can take an image in black and white or sepia. The next option we have is the resolution of the image. So this is quite handy actually, because it tells you the actual size of the image that you're taking, but it also tells you the megapixel size as well. So you've got 8, 6, 3.2, etc. So if you don't really need to take an 8 megapixel image, you can take one obviously a smaller value, and that will decrease the image size. But personally, you've got enough storage space now, you probably won't need to change that at all. White balance, again you can change the white balance depending on the situation that you're in. So if it's daylight, you've got a cloudy atmosphere, etc., it will automatically change the white balance. The ISO, again, starts at auto, but you can set that varyingly up to 800. So if you're taking images at night, you might want to up the ISO. Next we have metering, so you can adjust the exposure metering from center weighted to spot or a matrix. We then have an outdoor visibility mode, so if you're taking images and you're outside, turn this option on, you can see the screen brightens up, so it adjusts it for you so that you can obviously see what you're taking photographs of. There's an anti-shake option as well to get better stills. Auto contrast will adjust the contrast, as you can see it just lit up slightly depending on your surroundings. Guidelines, if you're wanting to take an image as kind of centered as possible, you've got guidelines there so you can obviously weigh up the image. Image quality, so you have a number of options from super fine to normal. I've left it on super fine and there's been some great images off that. You can obviously turn the GPS tag on, so if you're in a location, you want to tag the photo where you are, you can do it from there. And then the final option is just to reset all those values. So that pretty much takes you through all the settings. As you can see, it's a very comprehensive list, and to get the best out of the camera you're probably going to want to have a mess around, try different styles, different shooting modes, scene modes, etc. to see what's the best you can get out of the camera. Now what I've got now is some stills, so hang around, and a little bit of video footage to just show you some of the images and the footage you're likely to get off this camera. I hope you like the video, guys. As usual, please comment, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. It really does help and lets me continue making these videos. Thanks again, and we'll see you all in the next video.